team. So my submission for the hackathon is the project called BidFlow AI. So this project basically is a RFP response engine that helps to convert the RFP documents which we get from a client, and we will use a multi-agent orchestration system to respond to them properly in such a way that we would be able to win the contract. Vendors could be using this system to win contracts which are being proposed by clients actually. So if we see how this works is we have a multi-agent architecture. So we would be having couple of specialized agents that would help us process the RFP requirement that we get from a client, and vendor would be able to respond to them based on the abilities which they might be having. So if we see, we there is an option where vendors could kind of upload the RFP document which they get from clients or kind of paste it, and then we will have our AI agents running in background to give the final output. Let's see a small demo. So let's say we get a quote from a client saying that they're a SaaS company looking to modernize their platform, and they should be, kind of adhering to security standards like ISO, SOC, having SSO sign on, and the SLA should be 99% uptime, and there should be proper phases in which the product is delivered as per timelines, and also we should be giving them our prior experience on how projects have been shaped up by the company. Let's say these are the requirements from the client, and we want to respond to this RFP code which we got from the client in such a way to win the contract. So I have triggered the response on how we'll be doing it. In the background, if we see, the AI agent will start working. So what will be happening here is that first we will have the extractor. The extractor basically will be using the Amazon Nova Lite model that is provided by Amazon. We'll be trying to extract the documents data which have been supplied by the client. From that, then we will have the researcher agent. So this researcher agent would be referring to the knowledge base which we would have created based on the products we have delivered till date in the company. So I have already created a knowledge base within Amazon Bedrock. So we will have a S3 bucket in which we would have dropped a couple of documents into it, explaining what all projects have been delivered and what our technical capabilities are, so that the researcher agents could kind of go refer to those documents, query it, retrieve it, and stitch together a proper response for it. So once that is being done, then we will have the strategist agent come into picture. So this strategist agent will be using Cloud Sonnet model from Amazon Bedrock basically. So what it does is it helps us to pinpoint exact themes, and find out the winning points in such a way that we will be able to, you know, get the contract. So based on the knowledge which the researcher agent generated, the strategist agent will try to find the winning touch points for it. So once it generates all these touch points, it gives a handover to the writer agent. So this writer agent again will be using an LLM model like Sonnet, and then it will be trying to write the proposal actually. So this proposal would be the one we will be giving it to the client back. So once the proposal is being written, then finally it will go to a critic. The critic agent can be considered as a self-healing agent actually. So what it would do is, based on the write-up we have generated, it will try to audit the document adhering to security standards to see if the document has been drafted in such a way that it aligns with the requirements which have been provided by the clients, so that we'll be able to win the contract seamlessly. If the critic agent approves it, we'll get the final response. In case if it feels like no, it is not good, what it will do is it will send it back to the agents again. So again, we'll have the strategist work on coming up with a far better touch point to win the contract, so that again we'll have the writer agent write it back, and then we'll send it to the critic again. This loop will keep on continuing until the critic agent approves the document finally. We kind of go into this architecture because we want to make sure we give the best response to the proposal which we get from the customer, so that there's a sure shot chance of winning the project. So now the proposal has been generated. If we see, finally we could see the final proposal explaining the summary of like what the company is capable of, like what are the requirements we understood from them to create a multi-tenant SaaS platform. We'll be able to give them security adhering to the standards which they expect, and what will be the approach we'll be giving, as well as especially the delivery plan on the kind of phases, what time it would take to build these software based on the timelines basically, and with an emphasis on the security and compliance like we saw, and explaining our relevant experience, like what all projects which we did in our company, we give it as a touch point so that the customer will have a faith in us, since we have a prior experience of delivering world-class projects of these kind, which we have explained below. So in the next step we would be finally saying like what we'll be trying to do, like so and so, like could we get on a call or maybe send a price quote or so, things like that. So this application is basically a far better way to respond to a customer's proposal for a RFP. Yeah. So we saw the architecture about how this is working, right? So the main catch point, like I mentioned, is like we have this multi-agent combo working in such synergy that even a basic RFP proposal which we get from a customer, we can respond to them in such a way that the vendors will be able to win the contract in a far better way also. So this project can be used by especially bidding teams, software teams, people in sales to help draft the proposals to win the contract actually. So this is my submission for the hackathon. Thank you.